I want to speak about the issue of Zomato introducing their vegetarian fleet, but the Zomato company's CEO went and got married before I made this video. So let me congratulate them on their happy married lives. Now that that is out of the way, let me start my rant. Zomato announced that it is rolling out the vegetarian-only fleet, and riders will be donning the green color instead of the iconic red color uniform. After announcing this news on Platform X, the netizens were in uproar. Netizens' opinions were so divided. Some were praising this as an amazing decision, while others derided it as a criminal move by Zomato. Deepinder Goyal, CEO of Zomato, clarified that many of his customers complained that the mixing of the scent of non-vegetarian dishes caused problems for pure vegetarian customers, and they were put off by the smell of eggs, meat, and fish in the previous order. That is why pure vegetarians would have separate riders who don green collars and matching green boxes. This would encourage pure vegetarian customers to use more of the Zomato services. This green fleet would take the food from only pure vegetarian hotels so that pure vegetarian customers could uphold their purity without hurting their religious sentiments. Zomato already had an option on the app to show whether the hotel is pure vegetarian or not. So, what is the problem if the Zomato company wants to further pander to their pure vegetarian customers? This is their business strategy. Why is there so much hue and cry? Netizens who vehemently attacked this move by Zomato reasoned that many resident welfare associations might ban the red shirt from entering gated communities and other residential areas where non-vegetarian eating behavior is frowned upon. Another of the critics raised the concern that red shirt riders might be targeted on special days because of their fear of carrying non-vegetarian foods. A few more also raised the concern that landlords might question if the red shirt Zomato rider visited their tenant house and caused problems between the landlord and their tenants. Some customers want their choice of food to be personal and don't want to reveal it to the public. The riders' associations raised the concern whether there would be any filter on selecting the riders for the green fleet for carrying the veg foods to pure veg customers. Most of the riders are from poor economic backgrounds, and more so, they are not vegetarians. After summarizing the points that are against the Zomato decision, I wondered whether the Zomato company did any study before even arriving at this decision. Deepinder Goyal justified that India has the largest vegetarian population in the world, which is 39% of the Indian population, and Zomato company fulfilled their concerns. But this justification is flimsy, and if we think more deeply, Zomato majorly operates in India, and the most sold food for the last few years on the Zomato app is still biryani. Instead of pandering to the majority of the customer base but favoring a small chunk of their customers. For a better understanding of this issue, let's dig deeper into food politics in India. After the BJP formed a government in the center, beef was banned in most of the BJP ruling states. Can you believe that in some states, the unlawful slaughter of cows punishment is higher than the rape? Beef lynchings occurred all over India, mostly against the Muslim and Dalit communities. The irony is that vegetarians advise others to not kill for food but still use violence to curb beef consumption. Food consumption in India depends on caste, class, and religion. Most lower-class people and Muslims consume beef because it is cheap compared to mutton or chicken. Also, they traditionally eat beef and consider it their staple food. Whereas the vegetarians mostly belong to the upper caste, and most of them are economically well off. Now you might see the problem with the Zomato issue. Who are these so-called pure vegetarian customers and their satisfaction? Why do they get a separate fleet to cater to even though operational costs would be higher? From a business standpoint, it does not make sense to spend so much to get a little bit more money, but socially and culturally, the Zomato decision makes a lot of sense. After all, the so-called pure vegetarian population might be minuscule but still dominates the food culture of India. Zomato is a repeat offender. Earlier, they made awareness ads on recycling, but they used a Dalit character from the Lagan movie who was named Kakra, garbage, in that movie. In this tasteless ad, he was recycled as a table and other things. This was so inhumane and degrading on different levels. Because the practice of the dominant caste naming the lower caste based on their menial work is very degrading and dehumanizing. So, when a company creates an ad that shows a Dalit character named Garbage being recycled into various things like tables, lamps, etc., this means they are automatically subscribing to dominant caste views and taking part in ostracizing and humiliating the Dalits. I believe this ad was unintentional, but Zomato needs someone on board who understands Indian culture and the undercurrents prevail in society. They keep on putting the foot in their mouth, which is not good for optics as well as for business. On March 20th, Deepinder Goyal on the X platform informed that he would roll back the new changes and cited that this might cause problems for their riders and also for customers because the choice of customer can be inferred publicly and might cause awkward situations for their customers. Even though Zomato rolled back on site segregation, they are still going with the pure veg and will have a separate fleet, but the riders will not be wearing the different uniforms. The ironic thing is that this mirrors India's situation on caste. The caste is ever present in Indian life but has not discussed honesty among the decent company. So this is Zomato's decision on segregation of foods, and it would not be obvious to outsiders, but it would still operate in pure vegetarian mode. I still firmly believe that Zomato did not do this intentionally, but I also firmly believe that if this going green was rolled out as they envisioned, then it would encourage the ostracization of certain people and would serve to reinforce caste beliefs. But it still did not change much as Zomato went with a pure vegetarian fleet minus green uniform and others needed to suffer silently.